Welcome back to Watching Film of Varnadore Films. I am Seth Varnadore. I'm a former college and high school football coach. Now I break down film here on YouTube with an emphasis on the Florida Gators. And if you're a Gator fan, you probably feel pretty good after last night. Florida comes out, puts up a really great first half, and is kind of able to coast their way into a big win over rival Tennessee. We've got a lot of plays to look at, so let's just get to it. All right. Starting the game with some jet sweep. I think this is a really smart way to kind of help out your run game a little bit. So you start with some jet sweep. If it's blocked a little bit better, it's an even bigger play here. Right here at this point, really, if you can get inside this corner right there, and now you're able to leave here. Now you roll into a tough situation because it looks like Tennessee's playing kind of a two trap look. So he's going to jump inside off the snap, kind of regardless what the action is. Maybe they're thinking Florida might try to throw something quick here to start the game. So they're going to jump inside right at the snap of the ball. But if you could get that guy blocked there, and you have this for that. So imagine that one's blocked and you get that. Look at this big lane you've got right there for the jet sweep. You still kind of get the lane, but you just have to get slowed down by that right there. Without that, he can hit that thing full speed. And then you come back in the very next, or you come back a couple plays later, same thing. What this does is it's going to slow down the backside pursuit, and it's also going to make your motions a lot more effective as the game goes on because you've shown that you are willing to give these. I think early in the season against Utah didn't think Florida was willing to give them. Florida got some yardage on reverses and things like that because I think Utah was willing to make them show it first, right? So here you go, 1st and 10. I think it's hard to tell from this angle, but last year one of the big concepts was this one. And then you've got the deeper crosser and then the more shallow cross here. This is just another version of kind of a flood play or a Y cross type thing. Just getting three guys out in the route. You're hitting the same spots as you would on Y cross, which is an air raid play. They love to bring guys from across the formation. Right there, you get man coverage. So you don't mind throwing to either one here. A better throw gives you a chance. The coverage is pretty good there. And if you don't like that one, come here, throw it out there, let him run to it. But pretty good coverage, just miss the throw there. So you get the 2nd and 10 here. And we're not going to watch every play on offense, but there's some good wrinkles. Here's a fun wrinkle right here. So this is something Florida did a couple times early in the game. And interestingly enough, I think Tennessee tried to do this on the other side of the ball with their offense, is putting 4 to a side. That's something different. You don't see it a ton. So it's a little different wrinkle for defenses to see 4 receivers, 4 eligibles to the same side, right? And what that can do is, first of all, if you really like this matchup up here, which later they do like that matchup, you got a real one-on-one out there with a lot of room. But down here into the boundary, they're basically running like a spacing concept almost, where you want to get right spacing. You usually have like a curl and something in the flat, right? Now with four guys here, they're going to add this kind of wheel look to it, and later on they do a similar look, but they just have the outside receiver run the go here. But it's the same idea, kind of run outside vertical off, and now you're working these 2 curls with the flare route here on the interior. And we'll get a really good look at it from the back view, how this opens up. And it's an easy read for the quarterback, easy pitch and catch there. for a first down. We get a back view here of it. And so, right, I'm going to come here. Then I got a window there for that curl. And this is going to kind of get him to widen right here. So you're opening, really, you're probably, this look should open that window. And then if they all fall off, you've got that underneath. So you kind of get exactly what you want. He widens with that and this. He falls off because of the vertical. And he's also pressed him vertical a little bit here as well. So now you get a gigantic hole right there. If you throw with good timing, you probably could have even thrown it here if you wanted to as well. Could have dropped it off to the back as well. So getting 3 guys open on that is pretty good concept there. All right, so now you're in a 2nd and 8. This seemed to be another thing they wanted to do, that they had some, some kind of wider hitches called. But right here, good play fake. Get outside the pocket, throw on the move. Mertz did a pretty good job throwing on the move. And that's something he showed at Wisconsin as well. So kind of tailoring the offense to your strength. Tennessee brings some pressure, but you've got a good play on where you're rolling away from it. I'd be interested to know if this is something we don't know. So when we don't watch enough, we don't have enough film, we don't have a whole army of people watching these things, right? So it's tough to know exactly, but I wonder if there was a blitz tendency from the boundary in this situation, because you get the blitz from the boundary and Florida's got kind of the perfect play call rolling away from the blitz. So wonder if there was some type of tendency there to just kind of lucked out. That both can happen, right? So here you go, 3rd and 11. Looks like Tennessee's going to bring pressure. They drop out and only rush 4. But just kind of that initial, and a good job hitting the kind of the outside curl again. Right, this initial look probably gets, let's see here, drops out. You just kind of lose the individual battle up top. They had some problems inside early, Florida did, right? It seems like they figured it out a little bit as the game went on. But good job again on the move. Good job by the receiver coming back to the ball, picking up the first down, and really good catch there on the sideline. I don't know if I got the other view of it, but really nice job keeping that 1 foot in. So now you get a 1st and 10. And that's pretty much exactly what you want, right? So when this is a great rep of that zone here. Couldn't really get lathered up against Utah. You got a good reach here. He's there to help, and now he's going to climb. He's for the outside force player here. If you get a little bit better block here by one of your receivers, this could be a bigger play. Corner comes off and makes a tackle. I thought that was one of Florida's. Now, it wasn't on this play, but that was also a part of Florida's strategy, is make corners come up and make tackles, and that's a good strategy. Alex Gibbs, I bring him up quite a bit. One of the fathers of the modern wide zone, the kind of the stretch play you see a ton in the NFL with Mike Shanahan, and now his son Kyle Shanahan. Right, Alex Gibbs was kind of one of the innovators of that play, and he used to always say, "Make corners tackle. Those guys don't tackle in our league either." So always a good idea to make the corner tackle. 2nd and 4. Motioning, trips into the boundary here. So Florida did some, especially early, there was a lot of into the boundary here, really kind of putting something on the Tennessee defense there. Run zone away from it. And I think this is the first one you were trying to get some, you were trying to do some pin pull here. So I think the idea was they're trying to at least exchange this there, possibly here as well. It's hard to tell if he's just running his normal zone track and gets pushed back, or if he was going to kind of be there. But feels like it may have been this. The idea was now this penetration here kind of kills it. And that's what I mentioned earlier. The penetration early was tough, but they figured some things out. But I think the idea may have been this here. There, and now you're wrapping the backside tackle for this guy. But when you get this penetration here, right, now if he's pulling, he just got canceled by that penetration. You're able to get one there. Now, if you had your other one, he'd be right there. So you'd have two big guys on the backers, and you'd have a really good play on, if that was the intention. My guess is that's what I think was possibly the call there. So would have been a good one. Now you're in 3rd and 5 here. You've given the jet sweep now, so watch how the defense changes. You're gonna get some rotation here. So when you hear people ask, why does Florida run so much motion? Well, now he rotates into the box. He's rotating with the motion. He's rotating in the middle of the field. Well, now if I run it away from the motion, right, if I take this guy out, he's on the backside. He's on the backside running with the motion. I should be pretty good if I want to run this way. So right here, good job. Really good cut right there by the back. You pick up a big 3rd down. And that's all. I think a lot of that's because you gave the jet early, right? You give the jet, watch the play. Not only does that get the jet gets this rotation, watch these guys. Does it slow them down a second? Yep. Right. Instead of my first step maybe being downhill, my first step is this way. And now that lets him get enough, and I can get that thing right up in there. 2nd and 7, motion again. And this is another one where you're trying to go gap scheme here. And I think, as we mentioned, maybe Florida, maybe they got lucky calling that boot away from the blitz right here. You get kind of an unfortunate look here. Now, it's also possible when you have a puller, right? So I believe the idea of the play is here, right? Down, pull, and then you're going to pull the backside there. You end up getting a double here. This is tough because he's coming from depth. But if you could have identified that, man, look what you got here. You got him kicking, him leading up on whatever's left there. I don't know if he would get there in time. That's kind of the issue, right? We talked about the middle was a problem. So draw it up, right? You're basically down, kicking, hopefully. They end up here, but perfect world, I think you're there. Almost like a gap seal, hinge it, motion, try to get some stretch out of there, and then bring him up inside. Now, they blitz it. This guy, since he's coming from depth, he just doubles back here. Maybe if he can stay off here and you get that thing blocked up, you have a pretty good play, I think. So I think the design of the play was good. Execution was not there in some spots, but also a good call by Tennessee just in the situation, calling that blitz. Kind of a tough look for you on that play. So, the other teams have guys on scholarship, and they're allowed to call plays too. So sometimes they call the better play. All right, 3rd and 12. I thought Mertz tried to throw this one too early. Now, you can't get too mad, I don't think, but so they're basically running here. So based on the initial alignment here, I think, which I think he may think maybe I've got man coverage here, right? So as when he sees this guy blitz, he's kind of peeking over here for blitz. When he sees him blitz off the edge, in his mind, blitz there, he may be thinking, well, then this guy's got to turn and run with him. I'll just throw that out there. Gets it out of his hands fast. Now, I think he could have, if he waited, I don't know if he would have had time, as you see here. If he's able to wait, the idea of the play is, I'm going to be here. Safety drops back. I'm kind of going to come in this window back here. You could have thrown it on the outside receiver right now. I think that's boarding him. You could have thrown it on him right now in that little window. Bang, stick it on him right here. Or if he flies to that, I think he comes in that window right back behind it is the idea. But gets the ball out of his hands fast. I think that's okay. And you'll see one later. He throws one to Pearsall where he gets the ball out of his hand really fast. And it's a good decision. So you go down, pretty good drive, miss a field goal. How was your defense respond? And what's the plan here? So I thought it was interesting. So they showed this happened a few times where they show a 6-man box. I think to Tennessee, if you're gonna show a lot of 6-man box, we're gonna throw perimeter stuff, right? And then if you show a lot of light 5-man boxes with a tight front, we're gonna run the ball. Right now, Florida's showing a 6-man box. Right before the snap, they're going to shift to a tight front. So now he's inside eye, head up, and he's going to motion out here, right? I think trying to throw these perimeter screens when we've only got 5 in the box, that's a win for us. Run the ball when we get 6 back in the box, that's a win for us. Trying to confuse the reads for Tennessee a little bit on these kind of run pass options they have. And then Tennessee, you'll see it throughout this film. Florida does a good job at times, but when they get the ball there, they make you tackle in space and kind of earn it defensively. And Florida played really well for the most part, but they still missed a few tackles. But I thought this was a theme in the first half, moving that front, shifting guys, dropping guys out, bringing guys up, and kind of confusing what they want to do, I think, a little bit offensively. Third down, here it is. You got to tackle in space, right? These are tough, right? They move him out of the box. You got to run with it. And you just got to go. And then you got to be able to tackle in space. There's not much you can do. I think, against this team, against this system, you're going to give up some plays. You can't get discouraged when you have something go against you, but you got to make it hard on them, which I think they did for the most part. A few plays notwithstanding here. But here's a little tight front action. He's out. So it looks like a 5-man box. So Tennessee's going to run, right? I thought you held up really well in the interior. I mean, you kind of bench press this guy, maybe playing a couple gaps there, trying to. And then your linebackers were able to play pretty well off that. But, I thought the Florida interior played pretty well. You got to feel pretty good with that group up front, just from a size and physicality standpoint, because that really is. Now, since he doesn't have a threat down the field, he's able to get in the box. Same with the safety. Once he sees running, he's able to get in the box. So you end up with 7-man box, right? But right here, it's a 3-man box, and you're able to hold up at the point of attack, let those guys get in on the play, right? And that's what the tight front does. You're kind of trying to clog this up, not allow pullers, right? You can't pull a guard if I'm inside this tackle. It's a tough reach block. So eliminates pullers. You can pull tackles and things like that, which people do. But now it's probably going to bounce to this guy who's free. And you usually have that on either side, right? So trying to formationally get the ball to bounce outside, get people to run sideline to sideline, and hope you can clean it up. But good job here against the run. Good job at the point of attack. And a good look at the old tight front. And they mixed up fronts. It wasn't always tight. This is going to happen. This could have been called for sure. But those switch releases, they're really tough to defend if you get smoked, if you're the safety right here. Tough to defend that. But they do a good job not making it. I mean, watching it back up from this view, it looks, blatant. That looks pretty blatant. But real time, looks like they just got tangled up a little bit, So probably could have been called a pick. I've seen less contact called a pick, but that's going to happen. And then the next play is just a one-on-one. That's the thing. They're going to give themselves a lot of one-on-one opportunities. And if they win them, they're going to be successful. If they don't, which they didn't a ton throughout the game, then it's a little bit tougher. All right, so here you go, motion. Not sure if this was going to be a shot or not, but 2nd and 10. I like the decisiveness and the quickness of the decision, right? Get the ball out of your hands quick, give him a chance to make somebody miss and get up the sideline there. Picking up a positive, you're getting yourself back in the third and manageable. The biggest problem in the Utah game, penalties were part of this, but how many 3rd and 11s and third? I think the average distance on 3rd down was 10 yards. So you can't live in 3rd and 10. 3rd and 5 is a little more manageable. And right here, we see another 4 into the boundary here, where I think you're going to get the same thing here. Off. So that same kind of spacing concept. Bang. And then you'll see from the back, if he wanted to work this side, you've got all day. Douglas is so wide out here, he's off the screen. But basically, what's that tell you? That's a one-on-one backside. And hey, man, if you like this guy, you think he's a dog, one-on-one, take it backside. There's nothing wrong with throwing a slant against man coverage. That's a great concept against man coverage. So with kind of some pressure barreling down on him, staring it down, drilling it on the receiver for a first down from the back view here. Let's see how many guys we get open here. I count that as open. It's a one-on-one slant. I'll take it. 2, 3 here, and 2 of these guys are wide open. So if he wanted to work this side with the blitz coming, he would have had either one of these two. And you can see how 4 vertical here, 4 to a side stresses the defense here. There's simply not enough bodies to defend it, but it also gives you, if they want to blitz and try to bring somebody back over this way to try to address the 4 guys, gives you a lot of space for a one-on-one back here. So, hey, I'll take that all day long. All righty, some gap scheme. And some people don't want to tackle. Make corners tackle, right? We said that earlier. Make the corners tackle. They do not all want to do that. So, love the design here. Love the idea. I don't know if it's pin and pull or if it's just a counter call, but, if you're running zone, just to the defense, if you're running zone, it's everybody stepping play side, right? Everybody be stepping play side. And so would the center, and so would the backside tackle. Step and play side working, right? Well, now we're going to make it look like zone. We're going to enter the front side here. And now he's coming to kick out the end. And thank you, Tennessee, for having such a wide 9 over it. I mean, this dude's way out there. That's an easy kick. And then wrapping for the backer. And if I get you one-on-one with the safety, that's my job as a coach. It's your job as a player to take care of the rest, and you've got a dude back here that can take care of the rest. So here we go. Kick out the end. Wrap for the backer. Got enough of them. And now you guys, corners tackle. Don't want to tackle. Corners don't want to tackle, right? Touchdown, big play. Herb Street's got the clicker here, so there may be some wonkiness, but you can see it from the back view. Here, he's going to be down and just make sure this thing gets. It's almost like a G play from you see all over the NFL to the tight end side where the guard, you're down, guard kicks out the end. Similar idea here, but just the center's doing it. This is not easy. So down, kick. Then you also here, wrap. Really cool design. And good job kind of holding up here at the point of attack, letting him get through. And then he just gets his paws on this dude and just kind of stops him in his track. Herbie's got the chalk here. Yeah, make corners tackle. I think that's Florida's plan. They made a couple tackles, but not some of the important ones here. So back on defense. So I like this. So they see the motion coming out. Let's see Florida shift, right? They show here, not tight front. Shift, tight front. The back comes out. The end leaves early. Bang, right here, what does this tell me? If I'm Tennessee, I've got 5 plus 1 is 6 in the quarterback. I've got a 5-man box. I got to run that, right? Well, he's coming downhill. He's gonna rotate to the center here. As soon as he runs, he's free to come downhill. Again, you do a good job up front. But I think by alignment and by movement, right at the snap, you got Tennessee thinking run, right? They don't want to throw the screen out here. You move the numbers out. So I now got numbers here. Good job at the point of attack, and then understanding the safety is going to be part of the fit in here. And now you're able to hold that. So I think that kind of stuff just made Tennessee second guess a little bit. What do we say? You got to tackle. You're going to have to make tackles. So that's what they're going to make you do, make tackles. Just miss one, and the place can go. But you just got to be able to withstand some of those positive plays for Tennessee, not let them kind of roll over you. Don't let them all just wash over you once. Take one, then move on to the next one. You get a penalty. You get them in 1st and 15 here. Again, tackle in space. But you're making them, and this is something they've done a lot this year, is kind of perimeter stuff, a little bit more screen stuff. I think Milton was throwing like 38% of his passes were behind the line of scrimmage coming into the game. And Hooker was at like 11-ish% or 13%. So it was a big difference in the two offenses. So we talk about Florida wanting to go 4 to a side. Tennessee goes 4 to a side, but Florida's got it. I mean, you end up with 5 over 4. So Tennessee throws it anyways. Great job here, turning this thing back inside. And that's how you tackle in space right there on a 3rd down. So try to kind of catch you by doing the fake check with me here. But Florida was ready there on the perimeter. And great job getting off the field on 3rd down. Get the ball back here. Got your motion. Nice, easy throw. And the run fake. You run the motion enough. Now you run. This is kind of what you want in this offense, right? You want to run the motion, get them thinking about motion. Now I've been running the ball. Get these guys thinking about running the ball. So now I'm going to squeeze down. He's out there. You also had him coming across if you wanted that too, right? But if the guy's open, don't pass him up. But let's say instead of seeing that, he sees a tight end come across. He flies out. Well, thank you very much. There's him coming across there, right? So you get what you want. Easy pickup for 1st down, and all that's kind of just once you get people thinking a ton, then you can really mess with them then, right? Give another one, right? You got to give them to make people respect them. So it gets 5 yards, but maybe that pops a run for you later that's a bigger play, right? So even if you only get 2 or 3 yards on those jets, giving them can help you pop something bigger later. 3rd and 5 here. The athleticism, the audacity. Uh, it's a great play here by Mertz, just escaping, understanding. I think a little bit of kind of, and I think that's something that is good to see, like a transfer guy understanding this kind of the speed of the decision making has to be. Now he's played in the Big Ten, so he's played some good defenses as well. But understanding like I don't have a ton of time in this pocket to sit here forever, right? I got to get the ball out of my hands, or I got to get moving. So now, if he doesn't feel this flash, it was a pretty similar one to the one he threw earlier. He's the flare guy instead of Wilson this time. And then you have this. He kind of curls, but I think you can lead him into this window behind there. Right. So I think he maybe likes that. But if you're working this side, I think that's the window, right? You get him to jump here, throw it into this window there. Well, there it is. So kind of high low on that linebacker. Make him, if he's going to come up and play that snag route, run a dig behind him. If he drops back underneath the dig, throw the snag route. All right, 1st and 10 here. You try to take a shot. I mean, you get exactly what you want. You end up getting both guys open. It just takes too long, and you don't protect it well enough. But man, if you can get this thing protected, wait till we look at the back view here. It's exactly what you want. You kind of have a deep over, and then a really, it's going to be a post, but it's really just a really almost even a deeper crosser. And you really want to watch at the top here. Now, it takes a minute to get there, but right here, he's not quite sure where to go. He's turned this way. You're going to see Pearsall breaks across his face. He's breaking back here. If you could protect it, which might be too much to ask, too long to ask, he's springing open. He's springing open. Is there a good amount of field to throw this to here? You basically have from opposite hash to sideline to find an open spot to throw that football to Ricky Pearsall if you can protect it. They could not. So you got to, when you have these shots, you got to protect them. But man, and maybe this is a little too deep, takes a little too long, but you got what you want there. But if you can't protect it, you got to change up how you call it, right? Great pocket presence here by Mertz, and then just a great throw. I mean, and good job you'll see here by Jackson, not just like having the toes in and the toe tap and the catch, but he kind of moves himself into this position before the ball is thrown. Let's see. I think we have the back view. Yeah. So again, the call is probably the back's coming out here, seeing if you can high low this guy, and then you got outside curl there, right? But Mertz gets out of the pocket, and see, instead of just sitting right behind this guy, just widen yourself out. And then this is that's pretty good right there. For all the hate Mertz got in the offseason, he's played pretty well so far at Florida. Consistency was his big issue, and he's been pretty consistent, but that's pretty good right there. He flashed some good stuff on film. He just did not have the consistency. I don't know if Florida's kind of limiting how much of an impact he can make in terms of a negative, but he's played really well. I don't think he's a guy that you could point to for any of the problems that are happened with the offense. So, and that kind of shows it right there. Similar to the jet sweep, if I'm going to keep motioning this guy, I'm going to make you come out with him. If you don't, I'm going to throw it. Do that. Again, here you pick up the first down, but if he gets tackled for 3 yards, well, now every time I do that motion, this guy at least is going to get out of the box if I can use that motion in the run game, right? But you got to keep throwing him. That's something I thought last week against McNeese they did well, is they just said, you know what, I'm throwing that thing out there. I don't care if the guy's halfway covering it, I'm throwing it. This dude's got to make a play on it, and he's got to get out of the box and let me run the ball in here. All right, here comes another gap scheme play. This one's, well, the first one was a pin pull-ish type thing, or kind of a counter CT, which you don't see a ton. This is more this is a little bit more common. The guard and the backside H back here. But again, this kind of wider 9. That's why I have the tight end over here, right, to widen him out a little bit. Kick, wrap, and then this little wrinkle here, arc, to kind of get this guy stepping out too. So arc. So this arc does 2 things, right? This is kind of these are the finer details here, right? Arc does a couple of things. First of all, if I try to go through here, he's going to squeeze down, right? It's a tougher angle for my kick out block there. All right. Now, if I arc, first of all, it's going to be easier to get to this guy probably, right? And now he's probably not going to squeeze down. He may even widen with the arc, just because, teams arc all the time for read option and things like that. So maybe he widens, which I think if he moves at all here, he widens a little bit, right? Arc takes himself out here. Good down blocks right here. Now that arc has widened this dude, prime position to get kicked. And because they've shown play action off this, he's not flying downhill right now. He's kicked. I think the arc also sells that it could be a pass as well, right? So your wrapper gets him, and your back doesn't really get touched until he's 11 yards downfield? That's pretty good design right there. Anytime I could get the back to get a first down before he's touched, I'll take it. All right, let's see it from the back-ish. Really just a tighter zoom here. But, again, you see here, arc. Widen that guy with the arc release. Kick him out, right? If I'm in here as a tight end, this defensive player's right here. Now I got to come really tight here, and that's tough. But when I arc, I get him all the way out there. Makes it really easy on me, or really easy on your kicker. And the wrap guy has a big lane to run through. Ooh, I thought this one, the back view, you always trust kind of what the back sees, especially backs like Florida's backs that have been productive. Again, Florida's going to make corners block. He's going to go to the safety. I thought here, if he would have cut inside a little bit sooner, he might have had a bigger play. Because this motion, what does the motion do? What does Tennessee showed us they'll do to this jet motion? Rock back to the middle, come downhill. Well, now look at the edge I've got here. This guy's like an inside trade. Bang. If I get that and that, you feel like I can climb to the backer here. I got a really good play. And you get pretty close to it. Bang. Right here. He's working to overtake it. He's working to the second level. Safety's rotating back to the middle of the field. Look at the play you're getting from the motion. He's rotating back to the center. You've given it off now. You're able to get off. But this is tough to see, right? Tough to tell here, right? If the safety's going to rotate, maybe keep him there. If the safety's going to leave and go to the middle of the field. But if your rule is, let's make these corners tackle, I suppose it's all right. But you'll see from the back view, if this is able to cut a little bit quicker and he's able to kind of hit that thing 100 miles an hour, maybe you get a bigger play here, but still not a bad play. And we'll see from the back here. That's tough to see, right? Because right here it's not open. But if you would have been able to get in that lane, that's probably house. Just happens, but a second. I wouldn't even say a second late, but it's just hard to see. Is he going to, you're thinking maybe he's going to reach him and I'm one-on-one with the corner out here. This guy flies over the top. And you try to get the cut back. And really good job right here, by the way. Yeah. And then make the corner tackle. He misses the tackle, but other pursuit's able to get there. But if you're able to kind of get in there, which I think it's kind of maybe a bit much to ask, but that's it. Now you get to 3rd and 6. You're going to shift. And then you're going to run a little mesh here. Another air raid. We talked about White Cross earlier. Here's another air raid staple. We see it everywhere. From Mike Leach and Hal Mummy all the way into the NFL. And Chip Kelly's got his own variation. This is kind of a Chip Kelly variation of it. But you've got the 2 mesh guys here. First of all, running it with the back out of the backfield there. Over the ball. I think you might just fade him up. Mesh, it's everywhere. Right? If they man up, it's a good play. If they zone, it's a good play right here. Able to hit Pearsall coming across. They try to drop back deep, gets free underneath, picks up the first down. Big 3rd down conversion there. Shift again. Let's see how does Tennessee respond to the shift. Bump the end down. Bump the backer over. Like, do you think they're playing the strong side here? This is something I used to like to do as a coach. Let's draw a line down the center of the defense. How many dudes are on this side of the line? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many dudes do we have on this side of the line? We have 4, so I like that. How many dudes are on this side? The rest of them. How many dudes do we have? A lot less. So there, you're getting over shift, and now I'm going to motion as well. I think they're running duo here, so that's my guess. They're running duo, so he's all right to bounce this thing. May just be inside zone, but yeah, it might just be inside zone. That's always a nice debate, duo or inside zone. He's able to bounce this thing, get vertical. Nice run. Now, maybe the motion wasn't necessary here, but because you end up bringing somebody kind of back into the box, it maybe wouldn't have had a block, but good players can make you right, even if it's not the perfect call, and he makes them right there. All right, so this one looks bad when it's poorly executed. But this is something you see a ton on 2-point conversions in the NFL. This is Tom Brady and the Patriots ran this forever. Anytime they needed a 2-point conversion or kind of a yard, he's going to get in here, and you kind of want him to catch this thing on the run going forward. These two are just going to be a wall of blockers, and you're hoping that all that isn't going to be able to get there because he's just going to catch it really moving forward and just get right behind this. Right here, there's just too much separation. He needs to be coming here, ball thrown. Obviously, you want to catch it behind line of scrimmage so you can block. But right here, so as I catch it, I can just tuck right in there and try to follow these guys. There's too much separation. Now, it would have been close, but if I catch it here, I have a chance to get my head down, maybe. But Tennessee plays this pretty well. But this is not helped by kind of lack of execution here. That's too much space. I got to get right up on their butts right there and really use that as kind of a wedge there to get me into the end zone. So, but pretty well played by Tennessee. All right, coming back on defense here, 1st and 15. Again, you got to make tackles. The defense, what they did a good job is when they missed tackles, they still really rallied to the football, able to kind of eliminate some of those issues. Here's that 4 to a side again. Right. Tennessee thought it had something. Now they end up possibly getting a guy open late here. I think the guy Milton was thrown to was covered pretty well. They got somebody open, but good job up front, winning, affecting the play. Weird arm punt. Almost could have fair caught that one. And then good run after catch here. Big play in a night game in the old swamp there. I'm sure the crowd was rocking. You got the vertical here. I think that's where he's looking to throw. He's looking to kind of just get away and let the thing rip. Now, that one coming across was going to give you some problems, possibly. He's kind of catching up to it late. He sees it, but it really looks like he was throwing this one, which you had two guys on top of. Arm punt. Thank you very much. Maybe he needs to go back there and field punts. So 2nd and goal here. Again, you run enough motion, you run enough run game off the motion, you can start to get these guys to jump inside. Look, he thinks, because Florida also does this, right? They'll motion him, and now they'll run split zone where this guy's coming across and kicking out the end. This end right here is trying to take on the split zone block. Watch. Right here engages, and he's like trying to shed it. Tight end's just able to slip him. Be careful reaching that ball out. Not worth it down there. Fumbles go out of bounds, all that stuff, especially on 2nd down. QB sneak, and now you're up 19-7. Another penalty gives you in 1st and 15 for Tennessee. And again, this is just like, you're just move. There you go. There's a shift to a nose, shift to kind of a tight front. There's nobody out here, so he stays kind of attached. And you're just, that's a pretty good run game right there. Your linebacker comes up. On the board, this looks like a great play. I've got 2 for him. I got this guy blocked, this guy blocked. He's going to come in, smoke this guy. I'm going to be able to get out and go. On the board, it looks great. We'll watch the Florida linebacker. That Shamar James Stone, the H-back, trying to ISO him. Everybody else gets in there, kind of kills what could have been a good play. Looks like a good play on the board. 2nd and 12. Great rush. And this is with a 7-man protection right here. They got 5 guys up front. They keep in. They only get 3 guys out in the route here. So for all the Florida fans complaining about only getting 3 guys out in the route, the Florida offense, well, here the Tennessee offense does it too. Only 3 guys out in the route, and you're still able to get there and get a sack. Really good to get somebody in 3rd and long, make them convert those 3rd and longs consistently. It's not going to happen. You get the ball back. 1st and 10, motion, right? And now that you've shown you're going to give it, even though this is an orbit motion, it's a little bit different. He's not squeezing that thing hard. He's kind of slow playing it. He's getting over the top here. Runs himself out of the play. And there's, again, another play where your running back doesn't get touched until he's already gained 11 yards. Great cut. Etienne's a stud, if you didn't know that already. Now you know. He's a beast. So right here you can see it. Motion's getting him out. Backside, just collapse that thing down, and then great cut right here. Excellent cut. Dude is special. Big run there on 1st down. 2nd and 6. Again, throw it. If they're not going to move out there, throw it. Make them move out of the box. Florida's making the corners tackle. This is another one. Wouldn't have been mad if he just stayed on the corner. I'm sure in practice all week, wouldn't have been mad if he did that. But I'm sure in practice all week, this guy actually moved with the motion. So he was probably a little bit more dangerous moving with the motion. So you come inside to seal him in there, leave you one on the corner, but still make the corners tackle. They don't want to tackle. So anytime you can get one-on-one with a corner, you like it. All right, moving and shifting. Another look at a gap play, right? So you've given it a couple times in this look on the run, and now you're going to fake it. Look at the play you get in here off these two guys pulling and the reverse out there. You get Pearsall here late, a little better throw, and maybe throwing it a little bit sooner. It's hard to see if Pearsall didn't get open till late, but if he's got this guy outflanked, if you throw it a little bit sooner, you give yourself more room. I mean, it's not an awful throw, but you've got so little room that it has to be perfect throw to complete. So maybe a little late there, probably could have been a little bit quicker, but not a bad play call, not a bad design there. And then right here, this one is really well executed. And we're going to watch Mertz here, but I really like the screen call here. You get the orbit motion coming back out here. And then Mertz does such a good job. And you'll see it kind of as you watch him more. He's looking here the whole time. He knows I'm going to have to come here. This is the value of bringing in somebody with a lot of experience. An inexperienced guy would look at this early. If he looks at this right now, because this guy's pretty close, like it's not like he's got a lot of time. But if he looks now, which may not even feel like it's that early, if he looks now, he's going to retrace and be in his hip pocket. Him holding it till here gets him engaged. And now you've got this whole wall of humanity out there in front of you. Still miss somebody, but make him miss. Break that tackle. And you got it. And this is really just great job by Mertz. I know we talked about after the game. He was really jacked up because this is something they really worked on this technique. But, man, this is great here. Watch his head. Look at his eyes. He's looking here, right? It's not perfectly straight, but he's looking there. He's holding these guys. This guy kind of sees it. And, again, Herbie's got the clicker here. You can see the clicker. Herbie's got it up here, so bear with me as he reverses and non-reverses a few times. Someone's call that forward. But not only that, but you've got the pullers to try to engage people, and then you've got Mertz after the pullers go. He looks here, and he looks there, and so right now he's engaged. All we got to do is block this guy. We miss him, but luckily, here we go, Herbie. But that's why you have good players, because they can make you right when you're wrong. Linemen miss somebody there, but they can make you right. This is a great view of it right here. Really, really good job. As somebody that coached quarterbacks before, this is exciting for me. Sorry if I'm spending too much time here, but again, eyes. And you can see him right here. He's kind of periphing it, right? They got a little bit out of his peripheral. He's looking here, but trying to see, one of my former coaches, Kerwin Bell, would always talk about being able to look through a third of the field and kind of see everything through your peripheral. I'm sure he's using that kind of technique, looking through this area of the field, but recognizing this in the periph. And look when the ball's thrown. Like, contact has happened. The ball's not out of his hand. It's just right now, I think, coming out of his hands. So great job getting the defense sucked in there, dropping it off. And then you think the big boss man's excited back here? Watch the boss man back here. Do we think he's engaged? I know some people have said, they wish he was more animated. Do we think he's engaged? Let's see. I think he's engaged. I think he's excited. And that's one that really feels great if that's something they've been working on in practice, and that's what Mertz said. So right here, you move, shift to the tight front, take the end out. They motion back in, so he can come back in now because he's kind of motioning. He's getting out of there when they have two to the boundary. Well, they kind of snapped this late, so he's like, all right, I can just be a rusher. Milton wanted to pull this thing and throw this right now out here, but he's instantly got somebody in his face and just has to throw it away. So, they just did a good job confusing them in that first half. Now, second half, Tennessee starts with the ball. Could have, you want to talk about getting rocking. If you come out first play and can pick up this fumble, that's big time. But again, he's starting out wide. Now he's coming down late. He's going to throw that out there. You actually end up you have somebody that's going to be rotating out there. Fumble happens, but you're in pretty good position even if he throws that thing. Get to 3rd and 11 here. You can just tackle. You got to tackle. You got to get there, make the play, break down and make a tackle. Now, this is pretty good design here and really good job blocking here. Hill's done a really good job of turning stuff inside all game. This guy just gets his hands on him. That happens sometimes, but right there, that's got to be over. Unfortunately, you couldn't bring him down. And it's tough when they make you run sideline to sideline like that. You're just running full speed. It's hard to break down, stop, and make a play. But you're hoping you can kind of tackle that guy, get him down. Here, you're in good position. And this is interesting. Why are you in good position here? You drop right underneath this hook. Well, who's that? You're actually dropping. So you bring the corner and drop a defensive lineman back here. Drop 2 of them. So if you think you're hot and you try to throw something quick, you have a guy right there. He's there. Make the tackle. Not able to bring him down. He gets a first down. Kind of a look at tight front, what it can do. He's out here, but he's playing run. He's got kind of this outside gap in the run game. So as he sees here, he's got eyes in here. Once the ball declares itself, he's flying down in here into this outside gap. Ball bounces right to him. Smokes the back. Motioning out of the tight front. 3rd and 7 here. In this offense at USF as well this year, so I'm getting to see them up close and personal every week. So I get to see this offense every week. This is one of their favorite quick game concepts, double slants. And this is a great job. Why do they like double slants so much? Because with this wide split, as soon as this guy comes inside at all, look at all the room I have for that slant. It's one-on-one, mano-a-mano out there. Your dude is better than my dude. I'm not going to win, but great play right there. Breaking on the ball, getting your hands in there, knocking it away on 3rd and 7, forcing a field goal. So Florida gets the ball back. I thought this was a really good call. I think the execution must have been lacking a little bit. There's just, this is about perfect in terms of what you want, in terms of the look. He's coming. And I've got 2 coming for here. If I can just get underneath that, there's a big alley for me in the screen game. For whatever reason, I think this is probably a throw. Mertz would like to have back, but there's a lot of kind of cloudiness right here. As good a job as he did on the other screen, he might have been a little early with this one maybe. But, man, if I tell you, hey, Pearsall has caught the ball right here, you feel like it's going to be a big old play right there because he's got the ball and you've got kind of a lead blocker there and a funnel. You might get him one-on-one with a safety. But for whatever reason, the play just kind of looked odd from the beginning. Just didn't get it hooked up for whatever reason. But I think but design-wise, it could have been a big one. Just the traffic kind of made it a little weird and not the best throw from Mertz there. Here's one where he gets rushed a little bit here. And I'm not just talking about the pass rush, but You get this on this side. Let's see, draw it from there. And then double curls here. He's going to really outside release, and so he's got a lot of room in here to come back. Mertz likes this one. He's forced to throw it a little early, and you'll see from the back view, he throws it before the receiver turns, which is what you want, but it's also a bit tougher to throw an accurate ball when you have to do that, and you don't have to do that a ton, especially with some duress. And so the ball comes out a little low. So he could have worked here if he wanted to. Here you're going to get a wide curl. And I think you're hoping that if I don't have to throw this so early. So here's when Mertz is starting the process of the throw now. He hasn't turned his head yet. Ball's thrown. He comes back. You're hoping with his ability to create separation here at the top, if I can get this to him on the run, he'll get the first down there. Or if you have more time, maybe you get to this here, coming back to the middle of the field. Both of those guys I consider open here, but the rush makes you throw it a little bit quick, and you're not able to convert there, a little short. First of all, Lord, this ball's in the air forever. This dude, his arm is as advertised, but this is a great play. Great job playing through the hands here. Bang, play through the hands, get that ball out. Great job. I've been really impressed with this dude. He's playing a ton as a freshman, and he's doing really well. There ain't nothing you can do about this. This was a laser beam up the seam. The coverage is pretty good. This is why people salivate about this dude. That is on a frozen rope for what are those logos on the 25? Yeah. 25 to 35 on a rope. That's tough. That's tough to stop for anybody. So not much you can do there. What you do though is you recover. You get the third down, 3rd and 3, a little tight front, filling like crazy. And then good job up front. Hold him up. Not letting him get that extra foot there, extra yard. Get yourself to 4th down. And then this is a great call here on 4th down. You slant. They're trying to get you down here. You slant, and you actually end up wasting 2 guys. I think that's Kelby Collins ends up wasting 2 blockers. Your linebacker's able to just fill right now. And even if he wasn't, you did a good job kind of winning this thing on the front side, making these guys play in space a little bit more by moving them, right? So I'm slanting here, and then he's coming to fill right there. They get a good view from the back here, but you waste 2 Kelby wastes 2 blockers. You end up winning on the slant, and you feel like you're in pretty good position with a few guys here. But from the back, you can really see it. Slant. And this guy has a tough time, so he has to come up in here as well. And now you got Scooby, I believe. Right, you got to waste 2 there. And he gets his hands on him, so I can't get up there clean either. And now he just comes right off the back side there. And he wants to bounce it. There ain't nowhere to bounce it to. Really good job by the Florida defense. 1st and 10, offense. This one was close. I thought to being really good as well. This sorts out really well right there. If he's able to get, and it's kind of a tough look because they end up, perfect world, here. Or really, let's draw that up a little bit better. So perfect world, cut off back here, double to there, right? You're in really good shape. I don't know if this was a game they were playing, but you end up almost getting 2 guys in a gap, and so that kinda screws things up here. So I don't know if he's supposed to be down, he's supposed to be climbing over the top, but you get 2 guys in this gap, so you end up almost getting a 3-on-2 here, which if you were able to get this overtaken, or if this guy would actually gone there, I could have climbed right here. But you don't, so you're not able to get off to this backer right here. And if you were, you had a really good play. Now he tries to get off late, um, but it's kind of a tough look you get from Tennessee there. But the idea is sound, right? If I'm a wide zone team and you're going to give me this front, there you go. I feel pretty good with that. So just missed that one there. 3rd and 4 here. It's another one where if the timing's just not right. I like the idea of it though, because if you catch them in a blitz and then look at what you're getting with the motion here. I mean, right here, if you get guys out clean, you're going to have a convoy for Ricky right there. Doesn't get clean. Tennessee's able to muck it up a little bit, and you don't catch it. So, but right here, the motion. Look how much play you get from the motion. If I told you were going to get this for the screen, and these guys blitzing like crazy, you feel all right about that right there. But you weren't able to get the linemen. The linemen were not able to get out. So unfortunately, it's kind of a dead play, but I did like both the screen designs in the second half, and then after that, it was the game state says milk it. Here's another 4 to a side. Really, they like that 4 to side because it makes the linebackers have to run. Good job here. Look at this! Look at this job right here, turning this thing back inside, defeating the block. Great job. It's Jaden Hill. It's Taraji Mistral as well, kind of bringing the thump here at the end. I think this is a good ball right here. The boot. Hard to tell if he knocks it away or if it bounces off the chest there, but you get the penalty. Extend the drive, get a first down. At this point, it's really about just taking 40 seconds off the clock as many times as you could. But this is a big play, right? Big conversion to kind of keep it going. But so the motion here is actually going to widen the corner. And now look at all the room I have for this curl route right here. So now I get a free release into there. There's my easy window. Good throw. The linebacker's coming over. I probably could have here if I'm the receiver. Probably could have been a little bit tighter here instead of going into the hash, but maybe that's his landmark. But the timing of the throw, the timing of the route breaking, good job to go high point that thing and catch it in traffic for a big first down right there. Shift and motion. And this is just that's a great individual run. Now you do get the backside opened up because of the motion and the shift, right? Motion, you get some play to it, but that's a really good run by him. 3rd and goal here. It's going to work one of these days. The shovel is going to work. I think that's what we had here. We had the shovel. I don't think the design was a Graham Mertz counter. I think the design was kick here. All right, so let's look at it. I think you're down here, down inside, kick there, motion widens him out of the box. You shovel it right there, and you have a big play. So they blitz the shovel. You get 2 in this backside gap. It kind of slows it down, but the shovel seems cursed. But if you if you had that blocked and you get the kick there, you see the idea was have this guy fly out with the motion, kick the end here. There's nobody left in the second level right there. but Tennessee blitzes it, and it dies a painful death there on 3rd and goal. You get the field goal, and that's really all you needed. Went to throw this out there, had it covered up really well. So even if this ball wasn't tipped, you were in a really good position right there to make a play. We catch this one, and this just happens, man. Eventually, they're going to take enough man-to-man shots, one-on-one shots, that they're going to hit one. It's all about being able to respond to them and having a big enough lead to where they don't really change the outcome of the game, and that's what they're able to do. This is just one-on-one shot. He buys a little bit of time and drops it in there. It's going to happen. If you play one-on-one enough, it's going to happen. Really good job here on the 2-point conversion. This is a play they really like here. After they shift, I believe they shift here. This is something that's really nasty to deal with. Let's see, do we actually get it? All right, so the shift here, they actually are going to bring here and run a little. I think they've got like 3 options on this play right here. So, oh no. So I was thinking something else. But this one is still pretty gnarly. So not only is it, you can kind of rub this up top, or this is, here's the play that Clemson beat Alabama on in the national championship, a little rub route up here. So I can roll and run the rub route. But they also are running their own version of the shovel here. Power shovel. Where he's down, he's coming. They're not going to kick him. I think he's just going to climb here. Right, so if I wanted to, I could shovel it to the back and he'll follow him up there. Or right here, I'm going to try to rub this. First of all, Florida plays the rub beautifully up top. Look how they pass that thing off. He can maybe fire that in there. But then good job here, and you'll see it better. He kind of slow plays the shovel and then is able to redirect and get out there and bring Milton down without a conversion. Right, it ends up not being huge in the final score of the game, but it changes the tenor of the game a little bit. If they convert there, you go from needing 2 touchdowns to needing a touchdown and a field goal, so that changes things a little bit. So really, really good job handling all the components of that play there by Florida. I put this one on because I think this is one I think the back would like to have back. I'm guessing this is duo where they're just trying to get double teams and he can kind of feel it and it can bounce. I think right here, you just stick your foot in the ground and run through this dude. Like, we're not blocking corners. You go in and you block the safety. I'm one-on-one. I guarantee you, if you're in practice and you tell Montrell, hey, I need 4 yards for the first down, and you gave him this much room, and you basically set up like an Oklahoma drill and said, no shakes, it's just got to be downhill, he converts it. Right here, I would just have liked to see him stick his shoulder right through this guy's clavicle and get the first down, right? But when your backs are really good, you try not to question instincts too much. But I think here at this point in the game, just stick your shoulder down, run through that dude, get the first down. I think he gets it because if he tries to throw it from this angle right here, if he just sticks it down and the guy tries to go low right there, he probably pops over him to the line to gain, which is here, and picks up the first down. So, and that's definitely, he can play that way. Then 4th and 1. Hey, great job getting him to jump. And again, you don't think this guy's engaged. You don't think he wanted this one. I think he was into it. Again, I think he was. That's before the ball snapped, I believe. Right as the ball snapped, I think he's into it right there. All right, and then Tennessee gets the ball back. This was a great sequence down here. Florida, I think, was basically, they decided to deal with the stack by manning these guys up on the stack and then kind of playing off of it here. Once they got into this mode here, it looks like they're bringing a little pressure, maybe a little bit more of like man coverage here. They play some two-man. This was, to me, the play of the game on defense, or one of them. What Tennessee's trying to do here is motion this guy out, run him flat, get the backer to jump out, get the safety to miscommunicate and jump out, get him free down the middle of the field for an easy touchdown. Watch the communication here, right? Because, technically, the linebacker's probably got number 3 receiver, right? So let's make sure. He's got number 3. Right now, he's number 3. He's got number 2. Right now, he's number 2. He's got number 1. Right now, he's number 1. But Tennessee likes to make you communicate, make you rethink things. So right now, he's number 3. He's number 2. He's number 1. If these guys both don't make this decision correctly, and he's like, oh, well, that's my guy, I got him, and he goes, and he's the less number 2, I got him, he's mine, he goes, this guy would probably score right here. And you'll see it from the back view. That's where Milton looks first. Florida covers it, and he comes off of it immediately. So this is a great job. Watch this view here. Milton peeks this first. If he flies out there, that dude is gone. He's hitting him right here, and he's running with a full head of steam between those two safeties. He turns and runs with him. Milton's already canceled this because he sees it's covered. Turns to throw that one over there, and then you got great coverage and the safety getting over the top too. So that was a really great play and great job. Last year you saw those little motions and Florida totally bust. Didn't happen this year. Here's a great look at them playing the stack man, and then it looks like they're kind of bracketing the bottom guy. So watch how these guys play the bottom guy. So a couple different plans for stack right there. Man, the guy at the top, bracket the guy at the bottom. Great coverage. You can see it here better. Man, the guy at the top, inside out, this guy at the bottom. And really good coverage. There's nowhere to go with that ball. Then 4th and 10. Basically playing two-man. All right, maybe it might turn into two-man here just because looks like they might be bracketing this guy, but when he releases out there, he's got to take it, possibly. But in here, leaving him there and his responsibility, he might have had the back, so when the back is in protection there, he can fill right now. But great job closing and forcing this thing to be short. So right here, good job kind of making this pocket. So you get this big move. You kind of get a slide here. He's jumping in there and then wrapping around. So I don't know if they figured they would get a 4-man slide here and you'd give him a ton of room to work, but he's got room to work, and then he can wrap around there. And these guys can work wide because you've got him there as they push him up in the pocket. Great job not waiting. The linebacker triggers, makes it a tough throw, and you win the football game. So, this has been a long one, but a lot of good stuff on film, so you got to get to it. When you look at the Tennessee game from last year and this year, the quarterback wasn't just the difference. I think Florida played it a ton better in terms of the Tennessee offense. Florida's defense was so much better, really well prepared. And I think that's kind of the biggest piece going forward. Florida's offense, they played really well in the first. I can't even say they played really well. They did enough in high leverage situations. And that, I think, gives you a good feeling because you can play better and then do a little better in the future. So there is still room to grow, which I think is exciting if you're a Florida fan. Just got to get some stuff cleaned up, get some guys healthy, and I think you'll be in a good place. Should be able to take care of business against Charlotte, and then you got a big road test coming up in a couple weeks. We'll be back next week looking at the Charlotte game and in subsequent weeks looking at the other games. Leave a comment, like, subscribe if you're still watching. Let's gain this YouTube algorithm together. Thank you for watching.